Hi everybody, how you doing? How you been? How are things? This is Shane and Diana with Coffee Time number 12 here at Wacky Pot's studio. What are we talking about today?
Alrighty, well, let's get started with recapping last week.
Mhm.
We had a great mug building class last week. We had some folks come in and we made hand-built mugs with them, although you weren't here for the class.
That's right. It was my turn to play hooky this time. I went and bought a new pair of kicks, pair of shoes.
Yeah, but I had a great time. We had a lot of fun together and it was a great class. It was a good day. We also, last week, we took a day off.
We needed it.
Yes, we rarely get a day off. And so we had a family day. We took the dogs in the woods for a nice hike.
What was that game we played?
Dragonwood.
Right. It's like a card game, kind of a fantasy adventure thing. It had goblins and monsters.
Yeah, we played games that day, and then you and I made broccoli cheese soup, and Christopher made homemade bread bowls, although
that's a loose interpretation of how they turned out.
We used them as breadsticks and dipped them in the soup. And
they were a little flat. They were tasty.
They were tasty. Dense, but tasty. And I've enjoyed it immensely. So it turned out just
fine. Last week was a good week,
guys. It was a great week, yes. We made lots of things last week. And you had a message last week.
Right. Yes. So I think I told you guys at the last coffee time about a family coming to pick up the mugs that they had finished glazing.
So exciting.
And the daughter of that trio is a member of the National Beta Club, and they had a convention, and she won first place for the state of Virginia for pottery at the at the state beta convention. So congratulations, Summer. Good job.
That means awesome. Her piece will go on to national to compete with other states.
Now her mug will be competing with other state winners from across the country. So good job on that mug, Summer. We're very, very proud of you. You did an awesome job.
Great job. Yes. And last week, we also, you spoke with a lady that they're having us come and set up at their SCA event.
Right. So the Society for Creative Anachronism is a group of fun folks who really become experts in times past and time periods all the way up until I believe it's Victorian times or something. Anyway, so
1700s. 1700s. Before the 1700s, I think.
So shout out to the SCA and for inviting us to this event. So in April.
Yes, towards the end of April, and I get to get dressed up. I'm very excited, and I feel like this is like going down a rabbit hole for me because I've already started looking into historical things and historical pottery from Ireland.
Right, so we're going to be looking at making some kind of historical things, but in the meantime,
I wonder if I'll get to use my Irish.
Well, I'm sure you can.
I bet you I can. I can at least say falta, because that's welcome.
Yep. You can do that.
Yes, I can do that.
We made some things in preparation for going and setting up at that event, and basically we were told that people like to take around little tiny cups to taste beverages at the various booths that are set up, for the competitions they have for like brewing and things like that. So we made a bunch of these little cups over here, and they range in size from this one, which is my absolute favorite one. I love this one.
It's my favorite too.
Tiny. So Diana made this one on the wheel, and then I carved it and put a handle on it. So it's very much a collaborative effort.
The reason he carved it is because it was way too thick when I made it on the wheel.
well, we shaved it down just a little bit, but
I love it. I just love the shape, and I love all the carving you did on it.
These cups are made to hang by a lanyard around your neck, so you'll walk around and just be able to take your cup and get a taste of the whatever it is you're tasting, and then carry your cup with you. So that's why these cups are so small.
That's a fantastic idea.
So it really is, and I think we did a pretty good job on some of these guys.
Nice variety.
I'm very happy.
Some a little larger, some a little smaller.
They range in size from basically a shot glass with a handle, which is what this one is, all the way up to almost normal teacup size. And that's really what this is,
Right.
almost normal teacup size, very close to it. And they turned out rather well. Very happy with the forms and the shapes that we cranked out. Can't wait to see everything all glazed. It's going to be beautiful.
And I have to say, they're out of the Sheltoe brown. So the clay itself is going to be stunning.
Right. The clay itself is going to have that half sheen to it. And it's going to be like a nut brown in color. It's going to be very pretty. Can't wait. And then also I don't think I showed them last time. These were some of the bowls that I had made from my wheel throwing class that I'd done, and very happy with how some of these turned out. I think they're going to be absolute stunners.
Great texture
when they're finished.
I hadn't noticed the one in the middle before, but you have texture.
Yeah,
on that
I've got a
one
nice,
too.
really subtle texture.
You're
on this
gonna have to put a close-up picture on that because I wouldn't have noticed that from a distance. And then sitting here, I was like, oh, look at that.
Should notice it with the glaze.
Right.
If I decide to glaze the outside, who knows?
Right. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, that turned out really, really well.
Yes.
Should we talk about some of the other things that I did, or you want to switch gears to you?
Let's talk about the ocarinas, right?
Okay, so
right
last coffee time we showed you a flute that we had made, and we made a whole bunch of more flutes. We made 15, but we had one little not unexpected break. We knew that there was one that was very thin; it probably wouldn't make it. It didn't make it, but we made a bunch of flutes.
I tried to play it. It didn't make it.
That's okay though.
I broke it. This is the second week I've broke something.
But we knew that one was fragile. We knew that it had a thin spot. We didn't have any expectation.
And it's better that I broke it than someone else.
We wouldn't want somebody who bought it to broke it, right?
Yes,
exactly.
Right.
So we made some ocarinas as well. And we have some 2-hold ocarinas, and then we've got this 3-hold. Now, these really aren't even finished. We just made them yesterday, and they are
still wet.
Still wet. Like it's not like they're like it's still wet, but we can get a kind of a tone out of them. They sound pretty good.
Yeah, they do.
So now I got clay lips. But once they're fired, I think they're going to be fantastic. Once they're finished and fired and all that jazz. Very happy with how they turned out. Although we have 3 on the table. We had tried to make more than that, and it's hard to get the mouthpiece just exactly right. But
to actually get
the tone. Yep. So we made some of those last week, and we'll be making more of them. They'll be all glazed. And
they'll be fun things, and they're small enough that people can carry them around.
And I know last time I told you guys about the die that I made for the flutes on the 3D printer, and this was the one that I said was 80% satisfactory. I did get one that was 100% satisfactory,
and
that's this guy.
That actually is our question this week, because one of the folks, Denise, when she was here for the class, she was saying I can't remember how it came up, but I said in the 3D printer. She said, so that's what a 3D printer looks like, and I said yes, and she said, well, how do you use that? Right. And so I started telling her
about some of the things. So this is the one that is 100% functional and perfect. And this is the one that was 80%. In other words, we were able to make a flute with this, but this one makes them much, much better. And remember, I think I'd said that I would get that zeroed in, and I did. It works great.
It did, and it did a great job on the flute bites.
And we also started making some texture rollers. We have one here, and then a larger one here. And basically, it works like a paint roller. You kind of roll it across the surface of the clay. And this one gives like a cobblestone texture, but we'll be able to make a whole bunch more. And then we'll be able to use those textures on the outside of our mugs or whatever it is that we're making. So the 3D printer is going to have a big part to play in the details of some of the things that we're going to be making soon. And I think that's about all that I really wanted to talk about for what I did last week. But you did some great stuff.
I did. I was really in a whimsical mood last week, and I know I had shown my my frog jar that was finished last week, and I said I was going to make some more. Well, here's another guy that I've done this week, and he's looking really good. In fact, he may be ready to go into the kiln for a bisque firing.
Might be what you're right. I don't know why does my coffee taste like clay?
I wonder.
It's the
that day that we were making them, we both had brown lips for a while. So
non-toxic.
this one actually was one of my favorites that I made. You know, not all of mine were super thick, which this one's still a little thick, guys. I know, but
You're doing a great job.
Well, at least it has a nice form. And I went around it and I put these little dots around it. I guess they kind of, what they look like to me, but I'd had a dream, and in my dream, I saw a cup that had those. So I did
Why
it.
not?
Why not?
Yep.
So I figured, you know, if I dreamed about it, I might as well do it. So,
Yep.
and it turned out right nice. And I love the little handles on
Mhm.
these. The other thing that I did, I made some soap dishes last week, or they could be sponge holders too. You put a full bar of soap or a sponge here, and you set it next to your sink so that the drain can run on into the sink, so that any moisture coming down from the soap or the sponge can just drain off, so it doesn't get all soggy and stay yicky and slimy. So, but that turned out really nice. And this is a great example of what a texture roller can do for a piece of clay. This particular one is like a fleur-de-lis pattern. But you know, I'm looking, and this cobblestone would look nice on something like this, depending on what somebody's...
lots. We'll have lots.
Yeah, lots. So that was kind of fun to do. I also, last week, I had been talking about not using underglaze transfers. I made it a point. I made 4 plates, and I used up a sheet of underglaze transfer.
Because they'll go bad. They don't last forever.
They only last like 3 to 6 months at most. So anyway, I used the underglaze transfer here, and then I used and painted on some yellow underglaze, which will actually fire deeper than what it's looking here. My hope is that it'll be a close enough match to the yellow that it'll just look like it was meant to be, which it is meant to be. And even if it isn't, I meant it to be there.
Next time you see that, it'll be finished and it's going to be beautiful.
I'm hoping by next week. So,
well, if not, then the time after that.
Yes. And then I had a grand time making, I know, I'm picking it up carefully, making these fairy homes. This was so much fun. This particular one, well, it is attached.
Okay.
It is attached. It doesn't
feel nervous.
No, it doesn't come off. The top is attached. There's a hole through the roof, and the bottom is open, and the windows are open.
I love the textures on that.
So yes, great. So I have like a little cobbly stone texture around the house, and then the chimney, and I've got a vine that I made to go around the door, and then a wood grain on the door. It's just really cute, and these things are addictive. So one was not the only one I made. I made this guy too. I got a little carried away with his chimney.
Nonsense! I love it.
I love it. You know, it just kind of looks wonky, and so I did that. And this one is more like stonework. I wanted it to be like stonework around the door. So I did that. And
our thought is, if we have a little incense cone burning inside of it, that'll make smoke come out of the chimneys.
And I'm really eager to see these after they're bisked, because then, you know, the size is going to be a little bit smaller. And of course, when they get glazed, they'll be even smaller. So I really want to see them when they're finished, so that I can gauge like for my next ones, because I'm forever making templates. And before I make a template final, I like to see it all the way through.
Right, you want to see it completed.
See it completed. And then, of course, the roof is simply a pinch pot, and then I shaped it up a little more like that.
We've been going crazy with the pinch pots. That's how we made the ocarinas pinch pot.
Yep. So it's been a pinch pot kind of week, I think.
Yep.
So that's good, because, of course, the frog jar was a pinch pot too. So we already talked about our question. We typed that right on in.
Yep.
You know, we just go with it.
So was it Denise that asked that?
It was
Denise in the Mug Quest asked how we use the 3D printer with ceramics, and that's it. And we're going to be using it a lot more.
Yes. And thanks for coming, Denise. We enjoyed having you.
And everybody. We had lots of
folks we did. Next week, we have quite a few things going on. We have to get another bisque load in.
Right. That load that was in there last week is still in there. We haven't had the time or the space to take it out yet. So we got to get that out and get another bisque load in, because we have a lot of things now that need to be bisque loaded.
Yes. And then after that, is out, we're going to have to get a glaze load in immediately. I've got mugs from a group that was in that I want to get glazed and put theirs in next, along with several pieces that I'm really looking forward to doing that are waiting.
Right. So, that one bowl that I did with the texture on the inside is ready to be glazed.
But it's so hard to figure. Yeah, it's so hard to figure that out because it's like it's so stunning. You just.
I might not glaze it. I might put like some kind of a wash on it and then just put it through glaze fire or something.
We'll see.
So we have quite a few things going on next week. I'm heading to Amused Studios for another class. Robbie is going to be showing me how to make narrow-necked vessels. I'm looking forward to being able to make bottles and things like that. And he's going to help me out with making it very narrow.
Really nice looking.
Very awesome. He does some very awesome things with the narrow-necked vessels.
That's one of the things about artisans. Artisans are very willing to share. So whether you watch something on YouTube or you go to another studio, it's nice to go and find out other people's techniques and then share your own techniques, because it's not, there's no secrets,
Right. There are very few things that are such closely guarded trade secrets that you can't talk about it with somebody.
Right.
But I'm very much looking forward to figuring out those narrow-necked vessels, and hopefully we'll be seeing some of those here at Waukee soon.
Yeah, I think you'll probably do some with the raku.
Yeah, well, and that reminds me, we got to break open that raku clay and make some raku pottery and get it ready to fire in our raku kiln, which is not yet done. But up until it gets to the bisque fire, you treat it like any other normal pottery. You form it, and then you go do a bisque fire with it. And then it is the second firing that differentiates the technique. So I've got to get some pottery made up and ready to go in that.
And we did go and get a couple of boxes to make sure we had, I think that's about 100 pounds.
We have 100 pounds,
on hand.
Of it. And we also have to use that raku clay to make our own shelves for the raku kiln. Right. So at least, I don't know, a good 10 pounds of that is going to go towards just making a couple of shelves to go into the kiln. It turns out that raku clay is the best kind of thing to use as shelves in a raku kiln. Regular kiln shelves can't take the thermal shock as well as the clay.
And they break very
And they're
quickly.
super expensive.
Yes.
So basically it'll cost me a couple bucks to make a shelf that would cost $50 or $60 if I were to buy it. So definitely, why not make it?
Yeah, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it'll be a success and a win-win.
Yep.
So, we have a field trip coming in on Friday.
Right, a group of kids are coming in.
We're not going somewhere. There is a group coming here
to visit our little studio. It's going to be great.
Yeah, so we're going to be giving them a history of pottery. And then they're also going to be building a mug while they're here. So they're going to be with us for a couple of hours. And that'll be a lot of fun.
That'll be a blast.
We enjoy that. So so we'll be looking forward to that. And then of course we're going to be continuing to make lots of things next week. And my list of items that I want to make keeps getting longer and longer and longer.
There are worse problems to have, right?
I want to make a list. I want to make a chart or something somewhere and just keep adding to the list so that I can see and then put a little check mark by as I've done things. I don't know. Maybe I'm strange. I don't know.
Well, it's good to keep track of.
Yes.
For sure.
But I'm often afraid that there'll be something that I want to make and something else will enter my mind.
Well, I guess we have to prioritize it. Write it down, right? Commit it to paper.
Yes. And then if it's on the paper, I don't have to worry about keeping it up here in my brain.
What are some of the things that you're going to make?
Okay.
Like this coming week? What are you gonna make?
Yeah. Toad homes.
Right, because we've got a real homeless problem with toads here at Waukee Studio.
I'm really excited though. When I had gone to my Fiber Friends group on Monday night, Kim is the one who suggested that I make toad homes. And she said, it's a nice little place for the toads to have some protection, and so I've been looking, and you put chimneys in them so that the heat can escape. And
they actually use them, you guys.
Yes, they do. I've seen pictures. It's so cute of the toads in their homes, and we have lots of toads and frogs here.
We're going to be toad home slumlords. I can't wait.
I can't I'm going to take pictures.
Yeah, we
I
have to.
just, I love them.
Can we make like little mailboxes and stuff for them too? Little picket fences and
Oh.
things would be hilarious.
I think it would be hilarious. The other thing I want to make, actually, I thought about making this morning because it's a very rainy day here, but I was sitting on the sofa by the window and looking out towards the bird feeder, and there was a little puddle past the bird feeder this morning, and there was a female cardinal taking a bath in the puddle, and she just was so cute. And then there were 2 male cardinals out there, so I've decided I'm going to make tiny little cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Just tiny little cardinals to sit around.
That'd be pretty.
So I'm looking forward to that too. Divided dishes. I've been saying for a long time I was going to make divided dishes. I'm not saying casseroles this week. Too many. Nope. That's back burner for now.
Yeah, we had a bunch of other smaller things.
Yarn bowls.
Right. So yeah, I want to have the yarn bowls ready for that SCA event because, in essence, we're attending a historic sewing competition, is what it is. Sewing and fiber competition kind of thing. So there will be lots of folks who would love to see some knitting bowls.
Yes, and that just ties into another passion that I have. So I'm excited to do that. And then something else that Doug mentioned to me was cookie stampers.
Right.
And I just thought, cookie stampers? So then I've been looking that up now, and now it's like, oh boy, all these different things that I could make.
So many things.
To stamp in the top of a cookie. I think that would be so fun.
Yep.
So I've got to make some cookie stampers this week.
Yeah. What else?
That's probably it for me.
We got enough stuff to keep us busy, that's for sure.
You said about making more of the feastware.
Right. So, and I want to make some tankards, big, tall mugs. We're going to make some more of the small ones for sure, and some more coffee cup size ones. But I want to make some tall mugs as well. I feel like we can spin those out on the wheel.
Small plates.
Right. Yep. Small plates. And I feel like the tankards we can make some of them slab built, hand building. But I should be able to turn those out on the wheel as well. So we'll have a couple of different things. I'm always saying sugar and creamers. We got to make more of those. Yeah. If we can.
It's one of those things. There's so many things to make, and it's always like, oh, what are you going to do next?
But it's fun, guys. It really is.
So much fun. And I kind of sometimes wish there was more time in a day, but we get started, and before long, it's like, oh, we've missed one.
Time to stop. But we're having a great time making, creating, sharing what we do with you guys and the folks that come into our studio.
Yes, we appreciate it very much.
How about today? What do we got kicking just today? It's a rainy day out there. It's the afternoon. It's Super Bowl Sunday, you guys, and I'm not much for sport ball, but the commercials are pretty great.
Well, I do know Christopher's going to be making a carrot cake, and then when I was on the phone with your sisters this morning, your twin sister Shannon was talking about sourdough starter.
Oh, that'd be great.
And so I thought Christopher would really like that, so I mentioned it to him, and he's like, "Oh yes." So
sourdough bread.
Yes. So Christopher and I are going to look up how to make sourdough starter, and then if we have everything we need, we're going to get that started. And then before long, he'll be making loaves of sourdough.
Yep. That would be fantastic.
And I don't know if I said he's making a carrot cake today.
Yes, you did say that. That'd be great. Yep.
Can you tell I really want that carrot cake?
Looking forward to the carrot cake.
I've been wanting a carrot cake for like 3 days now, and every day this child tells me he's going to make a carrot cake.
He's going to make it today.
But he hasn't made it yet. But he's promised today he's going to make it. And you did mention taking a nap.
I might require a nap this afternoon. It's one of those kind of nappy days, isn't it? It's all rainy.
And I know we probably should be out here today, and we did take a family day last week, but it's Sunday. We
need to finish those ocarinas, but we'll put them in plastic and we'll let them snooze the rest of the day.
And I feel like a lazy day. I feel like I want to sit with my knitting.
It's a good day.
Prop my feet up and snuggle with the dogs, and then have a piece of.
That's a good day for that. So that's basically all we have. Should we go ahead and wrap it up?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Thanks for watching, you guys. Please like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to be notified of new content and all that other jazz. But for now, toodaloo, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Take care. See you later. Have a fantastic day no matter where you're at. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.